Hi and welcome to TOTECS. In the 17.00 TOTECS e-commerce platform release, we have added an improvement where for several different types of areas that list products on any content managed websites hosted on the platform, we've added the ability to show up to 3 different layout options for each of the product records. This allows users to change the appearance of layouts, for example showing products in a simple list view, in a grid view, or within a tool view. With this feature, it makes it easier and quicker to support multiple layouts in various products listings without having to resort to complex browser-side scripting that was previously required. If the user selects a preferred layout option in one type of product listing area, the same layout option will be remembered and can be shown in another supported product listing area, such as a favorites listing area, allowing for a more consistent experience across the website. Ultimately, this leads to a better shopping experience that helps users to more quickly navigate and search for the products they're looking for, allowing for faster checkout and faster purchasing. To give you an example of how this works, we're in a content managed website here that is hosted on the TOTECS e-commerce platform. And if I navigate to any web page that contains certain areas that can list products, then there is the ability to embed up to 3 different layout views within that web page. So for example, if I navigate to this clearance stock category based web page, we can see on this web page that the user has the option to choose up to 3 different layout views on the way that they want to list the products. And for each layout view, you can see that the styling and the information that is presented in each view can be tweaked and repositioned depending on a format that each of these viewing options control. In this third view, we've decided to make it a grid-based view, displaying more information in a grid pattern. But if we look at this tool size view, we can see that product record takes up a single row as opposed to allowing multiple in a grid layout. And we can reposition the elements in each of these views makes more sense. So if we wanted to reduce down the amount of information that may be required, maybe get rid of the text labels, you can see in this more list style view, it's allowing more products to be shown in a list. And of course, all these formats can then resize themselves dynamically to work on smaller size devices. So the new capability we've added here is within the headers and footers of each of these different types of product listings is to be able to embed up to 3 different layout views, and then we can set up options to allow the user to choose between one of the 3 views. And when they do make that choice, then it will be remembered using a browser cookie. So that way, if the user then navigates to another page that contains a different type of product listing, so for example, if I went into my items, within my items, we have an area called the user details, favorites and orders, and here it is set to display a list of products that the user has added to their favorites list. And so we can see here it's then displaying the same view by default because we could see that there were 3 different layout options and it chose the one that matched up from the category listing area that the user previously navigated to. So this provides a consistent experience where many areas that contain product listings all look and feel in the same way. Now this only works if the user's allowing cookies to be saved within their browser. If the cookies are not allowed to be saved, then these preferences will not cross over. If they use different devices, those preferences will also be saved on a per device basis on each of the different browsers. So if they're using 2 different browsers, they could choose to have the list view selected in one browser but then have the grid view as their main preference in another browser. So that is something to be considerate of. We've added this capability for 9 different types of areas. That includes the related product listing area, the product search result listing area, the product combinations, category listings, model product areas, customer account contract details, this area, the user details, favorites and orders, user viewed products, and customer invoice line reports, which is the majority of areas that display a product in a list. Now to set this up, if we log into the administration center of a project we have set up in the TOTECS e-commerce platform, and then if we click on the website's menu button and then click on the website's menu item, we first need to go into the web area format libraries. And for one of those area types that are previously listed, so for example, if we want to modify a category listing area, such as an example here, this is a category listing area that is displaying a list of products assigned to a category. In this case, it's called the clearance stock category. We would need to find the category listing area. And we can see now for this area, there is now an additional 2 area formats called Product Search Record 2 and Product Search Record 3. So previously we only had one format available which would control the layout and styling of a single product record. Now these other 2 formats can control the second type of layout as well as the third type of layout that is available. In our example here, we've got a tool, list and grid view, but it's up to us to decide which of these formats is going to represent the different ways we want to lay out our records. So we might decide that the first product search record is going to be more of a list style view, and the product search record 2 may be a grid style, and the product search record 3 may be a tall view or a compact view. It's very flexible in which type of format you decide to match up to the layout that you want to appear. So with these in the second and third product search record formats, this is where we can then create or select our formats that we want to use. So we can see here if we're using a MWD, or that's the master website design out of the box that comes with any kind of content managed website hosted on the TOTECS e-commerce platform, we can choose already predefined formats for those records that already have the different layout options. You might want to choose one of these, or you can start off with one of these formats and then customize it as you wish, as I've created here. And once we have those formats created, the next thing we want to do is go into either the header or the footer of that particular listing. So here's an example where we have created one before, and there are a couple of new format hooks that are available in these header and footer formats. So you can see we have product record layout 1 on click, product record layout 2 on click, and 3 on click. So this is when the user clicks on these different icons where we can control what it will do, where it will cause those lists to dynamically update. And for example, if the user clicks on the second layout view, then you would use the product record layout 2 on click within an element to allow that on click to then trigger the area to reload itself and use the second product record layout format assigned to the area. So in this example here, we've put some images into these icons, but we could instead have put some text like I'm explaining here within some anchor tags, and we can see now the text will display, allowing the user to choose between those different views. So that's how we can customize the way that these different layout options can be shown. Now there's another couple of hooks that are available here. We have product record layout allow change. So this has a value of Y or N to represent no or yes. So if the user is not allowed to switch between the different layout views, then this hook could then be used, say, to hide or disable certain elements from being clicked on, and the opposite, they could be used then to hide these layout options that the user can choose from. And we also have this product record layout class, which will indicate the different layouts currently being selected, either the first, the second, or the third, so that we may want to use that in order to then highlight which of those options is the current selected option. So we could write some CSS styling that then allows, say, that text to become bolded when the user is viewing it as a tall view as opposed to the list view. So that's where we'd use that product record layout class. So these 5 hooks are available in all the different areas where we can then put in these different layout options. So we're looking at the category listing here, but if we want to put it into a product search result listing, then we'd go into the product search results listing area, and we look at its headers and footers. You will be able to see that there are those same format hooks that we have available to control that, as well as for that area, we have the 3 different product search record formats that we can configure up. It's a similar case for the product search results listing. If we're dealing with product combinations or product variants, as it may also be known, that also has the same concept, and so on and so forth, with many types of different areas that contain the listings. So that's the related product listing, the model product area, the customer account contract detail area, the user details favorite orders area, the user viewed products, and the customer account invoice line reports. So those 9 different areas have this same structure and format. Now once we've configured our formats, we then need to go into the web page where these different types of areas appear. So for example, we were looking at the category listing that was displaying a product listing for any kind of category. In that category listing area, if we go into the areas settings, there are 2 settings that are now available. So we have the allow product record format switching. By default, that would be set to no for existing areas. So we need to turn that to yes, and only if it's set to yes can the user then switch between the different layout views. If it is set to no, then only the first view will ever show, regardless of if the user can click the different layout options. So that needs to be turned on. And then we have this setting where we can choose which one of the layouts of the product records should be the initial layout chosen from if a user doesn't have a preference. In example, if we want the grid view to be the default for when a user, such as a guest user, first visits a website, that grid view is in the third product search record, then we select that by default. Then that means when a user first navigates to this page, then this is the layout that's going to be seen. So this is where we can control what the initial way that the area should look like, but this setting is going to get ignored if the user then clicks on any of these other layout options. Then that's going to get remembered in the user's cookie. That will be what is used when the page next loads containing that area or any of these product listing type of areas. Now this setting will also get ignored if the allow product record format switching setting is also set to no, and it's always going to choose the first format then. Now note that you don't have to use the 3 layout options. You may only want to use 2, and that's perfectly fine. That just means back within your header or footer format for that area, you would just get rid of the layout option you don't want the users to choose from. So if I make that change and refresh the page, we can see the user now has only those 2 options to choose from. So those are the 2 settings that are involved. Additionally, for that area, we need to go into the area settings and go into the set formats. And we will now see the second and third product search record formats appear. So we need to also select those formats that we had created or the existing formats that we're going to utilize. And this is where we're controlling which type of record is going to display for each of these different views. So in my product search record 2 here, I've just chosen the list-based format, and in the record 3, I've chosen a grid-based format, but I may want to do it the other way around. I may want the second layout option to be, say, a tall option, and then I may want the third option to be more of a compact list style. That's where we are assigning the different layout styles to the particular area that we're using. Now, once you click the update area buttons, those formats will then come into effect, and then allowing the areas then to load those updated formats. And you may notice that when the user initially clicks between the different layout options, that you can see that there will be a grayed out overlay for a particular area when it's making a request to the server to get the new layout option. But if the user keeps flicking between the 2, it will cache in memory those previously loaded listings to avoid having to call the server more often. That allows these different layouts to load instantaneously, leading to a faster, better user experience. So it would be the same process. We would just need to go through all the relevant product listing areas and configure those same settings. So for example, if I was dealing with the product search results, we have a page called product search, but that page could be titled anything. If we go into view all areas, we find the particular area of relevance, then we have those same settings available in that area as well that we'd need to turn on to allow that to product record layout switching to happen. And note that if you do turn on this switching and put in the format headers and footers to allow the switching to occur, but you haven't assigned the second and third formats, the user will see a format not found error that will appear in the listings. So that tells you that you have missed going into the set formats and choosing the second and third product search record formats. So that's a consideration to be aware of. Now you know about the 3 different product record layout views that can be now switched within any product listing based areas to allow a user to choose the most preferred layout option based on the way that they shop, ultimately leading to a better user experience, allowing them to buy and purchase products faster. This may lead to increased sales and customer satisfaction, as well as repeat visits, and ultimately can help more ordering take place and more sales for a business. If you wish to find more information, you can go to the TOTECS websites, look at the release notes within the forums, and if you have any questions, you can ask within the forums or contact us. You can also view the release playlist on our TOTECS YouTube channel. Till next time, have a good one.